Good afternoon. It is about 1:59. We'll start at 2. We'll start to broadcast on Facebook Live on the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce page. I'll be doing that right now. Page. Okay, well, that starts to fire up. I'm going to live stream this webinar on Facebook. It is part of a series on the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce program to help everyone with marketing. Good afternoon, everyone. It is 2 o'clock. Do you want to start on time? Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We are broadcasting live on the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Facebook page. This webinar is how to write effective marketing emails for any situation. It is probably the most popular webinar I give throughout the year. I do it several times. This webinar does have specific instructions, detailed instructions to the point of giving you word count for subject lines and pre-header. But do not panic. If you are unable to take notes, I will give you this webinar, a PDF of the presentation. I'll send anyone who wants a link. My contact information will be within the next couple slides. So we all know there's a lot of competition in the inbox. At any point in time, you probably have hundreds of emails. You probably have hundreds of different emails you don't want, some you do want. You probably have several email addresses, and the emails just keep coming and coming and coming. Back in 2016, it was estimated 205 billion emails were sent on a daily basis, and that number just grows and grows every year. And so that was over 6 years ago. So as you can guess, there's a lot of competition. Sorry, that was from 2019. So writing an email can seem daunting. You have the issue, you might not know what to send. Sometimes it takes too long, or you feel like you're not a good writer, or you're just trying to get people to open and click. You want to write your email in a way that tells a story and builds a connection with your customers or supporters. No matter what you feel when you sit down to write an email, today we're going to have you covered. That's why we're putting together this webinar to help you write great emails that actually help your business, so you can break through that barrier and compete in the inbox. We've got some ideas we're going to share today that will hopefully make the process easy for you. Let's take a look at that agenda. We're going to talk about the different types of emails, a simple formula to any email, and then we're going to get into more tips for writing successful emails. Once again, this presentation is absolutely available. All you have to do is send me an email or give me a call. There's my email address. I would encourage you to get a copy of this, because this can be very particular in the details. And it is a good guide to writing effective emails, and it's somewhat of a summary of many other presentations. All of this content is from Constant Contact. I'm a Constant Contact partner, which means I've taken a lot of training on email. And I do sell Constant Contact, so full disclosure. And this webinar is part of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Marketing Series. We do 2 webinars a month. I'm the president of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. And my website is consultvito.com. And I do everything from lead generation to public relations to ad buying, really anything digital. I also do branding, CRM tools. I have a partnership with ActiveCampaign and HubSpot. But most importantly, next webinar is Design Thinking for Entrepreneurs. That'll be in 2 weeks. There's a link on my website to it. It's from 2 to 2:45. If you don't know about design thinking, it is a new way to solve problems for businesses. It is a new way to go about developing product. It's very big in Australia, New Zealand. It's kind of coming around through Europe, making its way to the States. You're going to hear more and more about it. If you haven't, I do see now more and more webinars and events talking about it. It is pretty interesting. It's a new way to think. And again, on my website, consultvito.com, under events, the opportunity to register is there. Hopefully we'll see you then. Now let's look at the types of emails that people send. We want to do that before we talk about what we put in the emails, because we want to touch base on the fact that not all of your emails should be promotions to sell your products or services or to ask for donations, because just as you may guess, no one likes to be sold to all the time. So you're going to want a variety of different types of emails that keep your business or organization top of mind. I should also mention I will take questions at the end. So with email marketing, you want to build a relationship with your audience that over time encourages them to continue doing business with you. That's why you're going to want to include a mixture of time-based and informational emails. So as a reminder, time-based emails are when you have time-sensitive information like your sales, promotions, or events. And then, of course, informational emails focus on sharing information that helps you to connect with your readers. And that's where you're going to provide valuable content that helps to support your products and services. And it's going to keep people in the know about what you do. So time-based on the left, informational on the right. Always with time-based, and I'll go occasionally off script on this webinar with some tips that hopefully will help you a little bit beyond this information. Time-based, please make sure you have an expiration date. Never send out promotions, sales, events without an expiration date, final date to register, or anything of that nature that will imply there's urgency. You want to make sure people understand that this coupon code is good for, unless of course you want that coupon code to be good forever. So that, just keep that in mind though as you're building out your offers that are time-based. For informational, a lot of evergreen content you're going to keep out there. So another big question, how often should I send the emails? Think about this. If you sign up for daily email tips, how often will you be expecting to receive an email? If you sign up to be emailed twice a month, how often are you expecting me to email you? So it's really about the expectations you set with your subscribers right when they sign up. Now, there are times when you may deviate from those expectations, but that's often due to special circumstances where you let people know that they'll receive more information or emails. So, for example, you might ask people to click a link to find out more on a topic, and when they click that link, they could receive automated emails with more information and encouraging them to take further action. So now we're getting into that lead generation customer journey. So in a circumstance like this example, they're still controlling the engagement, and basically they're saying yes to other emails. Now, again, I'm going to go a little bit off topic because that's a good answer, but another way to look at this, a lot of people have lists. A lot of people are sending out email, and they don't know the expectations they set initially. They've inherited an email program as a marketing person, or their company never established how many times it would send out the email. And that can lead to a lot of frustration for your marketing people. And that can lead to a lot of frustration for the people receiving your email. So most of your email platforms, Constant Contact, MailChimp, etc., have the ability to poll people. There's inexpensive polling software you can use. And there's an opportunity to use those polls to ask people how much email they would like to receive. So really think about those opportunities that if you don't know how much people want to receive, you can always ask. In a poll, you can always look at your results. If you're sending it out every week and your results start to go down, maybe push it to every other week and see if that kind of readjusts things. But most importantly, you can ask in a poll, how often would you like to hear about topic A or topic B or topic C? Or you can just ask, how often would you like to receive email from your company? Sometimes the best policy is just to simply ask. So the different types of emails, we just covered that, informational, time-based. We talked a little bit about time, but now we want to get into a deeper dive on the types of emails. One of the most common types small businesses think about are offers and promotions. And they're pretty straightforward, so you can choose to promote whatever you need. For these types of emails, you're directly asking people to do something that affects your bottom line. You might offer a coupon or discount, promote a product or service you offer, provide a free resource, or ask them to book a consultation. Now, for nonprofits, think about the promotions as your fundraising campaigns, or if you're asking for volunteers. What you want to do, and this is really important, is to make sure you include any instructions to get the resources or redeem a coupon or offer. And like I said, include that end date and promotion. And we're going to do a little deeper dive on the structure of these two coming up. Of course, we always have event emails. Many people have save the dates, invitations, reminders, follow-ups. And you want to promote them with registrations, but you can send save the date emails to give people a heads up about that event. And then, of course, you can send reminder emails. You can remind people to register, remind registrants about the date. Event follow-ups are also a great option here as well, and you can see them in a couple of different ways. You can thank your event attendees and send any follow-up information. It can also be used to send to the non-attendees to show them how great your event was and to hopefully encourage them to attend your next event. Now, depending on the type of event, your content can vary for these types of emails. If you have a list of speakers at your event, you can include the biographies and credentials. So having done a lot of email for a couple of event companies, there's a few times you can talk about those events. There's the early bird offer. Well, there's the launch of event. Then there's the early bird offer. Then there's the early bird offer is about to expire. Then you can get into register now for the regular price. And you send out 1, 2, or 3 of those. And then, of course, there's we're 30 days out, we're 2 weeks out, we're a week out if people haven't registered. And then, of course, you can send out, for those who have registered, the 1 week to the event, 1 day to the event, 1 hour to the event. So leveraging those types of opportunities in event emails, you've probably seen them. I know I've sent out the week before the event for this event and the day before. Those are great opportunities as touch points. And as someone who is building a large event, you may need to take advantage of those types of opportunities by spacing out your email with launch, pre-register, discount, and then a lot of people about 30 days before will add an additional discount. So depending on that timeline, those are the types of emails people do for events that I've seen. I've worked with some fairly large companies who have done some fairly large events, and all the emails for the events generally fit into those categories. The categories being launch, early bird special, register now, another discount / 30 days out, 2 weeks out, 1 week out. So when it comes to holidays, of course, you want to celebrate them with your audience. Whether you're celebrating a more formal holiday, such as Valentine's Day, or you have some fun holidays, such as National Donut Day, this type of email content is a great way to engage your readers. Now, this is an opportunity that is free. If you go to constantcontact.com, and if you search for email marketing campaign ideas, that is available and is open to anyone who's a customer or not. Every month there's a list of holidays such as National Donut Day, which are always great to talk about, even if it's just a snippet in your email. Or, of course, if you have a product or service aligned with that particular national holiday or holiday, you can use that as well. Of course, there's always how-to information. So these emails are really going to vary based on the type of business or organization you have. Essentially, you want to provide helpful information that helps people get started, maintain, and effectively use your products or services. So we're talking now about step-by-step instructions or videos, DIY information, checklists and guides, and even tips. But if you don't feel like your business or organization needs to directly provide how-to information for products, think about some of the related things. So, for example, a restaurant could send some how-to information for recipes, or kitchen design, or organization tips, or how to keep your kitchen clean. Or if you are selling wood chips or mulch, or you're selling dirt, you could explain in a how-to video how to measure the area that you're going to put the dirt in, and then give a how-to guide on how much dirt you should use. So you show someone using a measuring stick or measuring tape, then they start talking about how deep how deep you may want that dirt or those wood chips. Then they give you that formula to make sure that you're bringing in the right amount. Or if you're a nonprofit helping children, you can send some how-to information like making sure you're spending quality family time with your children or something along those lines. So the how-to information, a lot of people, it could be a financial planner talking about how to save money, could be talking about how to establish a will or an estate. It could be a yoga place or Pilates place talking about some stretches you can do on your own in the morning, how to get yourself up and moving. There's a lot of opportunities in the how-to information section. Next type of emails, create a dialogue. Email marketing doesn't have to be a one-way communication channel because you can use it to gain feedback and information. You want to understand the audience, their needs, their wants, and experiences with your business. You want to be able to hear from your audience so you can provide more of what they need and more of what they want. So an example might be asking customers for a review about their experience. For this type of email, you can link to your preferred review site. You probably get those a lot from Home Depot, Lowe's, and others. You buy something, you get an email asking for a review. You can also link to a survey or poll in order to understand your audience better. Again, it never hurts to just ask the question. You can use a survey if you want to ask a series of questions depending on what you're looking to accomplish. And you can potentially ask them about how you can improve your services, gain feedback on your website, or even ask people what their interests are in regards to your email communication. And that's the type of information that can help you personalize the experience in order to send targeted email communications. There are a lot of inexpensive software survey programs such as Alchemer, which was Survey Gizmo. You could even put it on a Google worksheet. People can submit the doc. Microsoft, if you have a certain suite on Microsoft, certain products, it comes with the survey tool. There's a lot of different ways to get that kind of information. And of course, Constant Contact and other email providers have built-in survey tools as well. The next type of email you can send is behind-the-scenes information. It's a great way to humanize your business or organization. You can show real people working behind the scenes, making a product or helping customers. You might feature employees and their position and mission within your company. If you're a nonprofit, you can feature volunteers or even the day-to-day operation of your organization. You can feature behind the scenes of how you provide a service to show your credibility and focus on your clients or how your product is made to ensure quality. So on these types of videos, and I didn't say it before, but we're at a point in time where just pulling up your phone and just begin talking. You don't have to have a fancy editor. You don't have to have a fancy tool. People appreciate that authenticity. It can be that simple. It never hurts to just go ahead and jump on that phone, create a video, and then upload it to your email. Usually you'll put a link to it. You'll put it on your YouTube and you'll embed a link depending on the email provider, but it's normally very, very simple. You also want to include news in your email communications. You can share updates that are happening at your company, whether that's changes in office hours, new menu items, or even changes that you're working towards. You want to keep people in the know about what's happening at your business specifically, or get them excited about a change that's coming, such as a new product. And don't forget about industry news as well. That's where you'll be able to share outside info that supports your mission and what your organization is working towards. And think about sharing those local happenings. It's always nice to know that a business you support is involved in the community. On that note, of course, there are newsletters. Typically, we recommend putting one topic in your emails, especially if you're trying to drive action. However, your organization may find it valuable to send a newsletter that includes a few different topics. If you're going to go this route, we first suggest making sure you're segmenting your audience. For instance, you might have a group of people on your list who prefer email once a month. And I apologize, that one went right by us, but we'll bring it back. Another best practice is to include 3 topics at most, and we're going to get into that structure. 3 topics at most. Use read more links, segment when possible. That's going to be the key to newsletters. And after this, I'll sign everyone up for my newsletter. You can always opt out, but everything I do is generally informational in terms of solving marketing problems. The next group, and we talked a little bit about this at first, automated emails. So automated emails, and we did a presentation about this a few weeks ago, just to recap quickly, like in any presentation you see on my event section, if you're looking for that PDF for that presentation, you can definitely ask and I'll send that over. I'll send a link to a folder because they are generally very large presentations. Automated emails are very similar to the buzzwords you hear about lead generation, customer journey. In the old days, it was the sales funnel. Or now you hear they're called workflows or automations out of CRM tools. Basically, they're automated emails, okay? And what you're doing is sending something out, someone clicks on something, that triggers another email that gets sent out, and that may trigger another email, and they could all, both the last two could be time sensitive. Someone gets put into a workflow or an automation or the customer buyer's journey or the lead generation, and that's what's happening. And you probably experienced that when you sign up for an event. You get an automated email back, and that was automatically generated saying you're registered for this event. You might get it out of Calendly when you schedule a meeting with someone. You might get it when you signed up to download a piece of thought leadership. All of a sudden, one email was sent to you a few days later, another email on the same topic, and then maybe a week after that, someone asking for a meeting. It all starts with that automation, lead generation, all those words you hear marketing people throw out, and you wonder, what's a simplified form of it? How can it be brought down to a level that you can implement quickly and easily, and then you can expand those efforts as you understand and master the topic? So in most cases, and we're going to go through a sample automated email chain, a welcome email that sends right away can be beneficial. You can welcome people to your list. So when someone signs up on your pop-up or on your website, they sign up to be on your email list, boom, they get an automated welcome email. You don't want people to sign up and then not hear from you for weeks, as they may just forget about you. But a welcome email is great to fulfill an offer. So if you want to take that welcome email a step further, you create that full series of emails that introduces people to your business over a period of time after signing up. So for a welcome series, you can simply add a second email where you can ask them to connect with you. So that might mean asking them to connect on social media or give you a call to make sure they get set up and on the right track. Now, the second type of email, automated email, can be a birthday email, which is going to make your audience feel special. You can simply let people know you're paying attention and that you care. So depending on your business, you could also include a coupon or a special offer for the birthday. So another type of automated email, that was the anniversary email, my apologies. The anniversary email can be celebrated anniversary for someone's wedding anniversary. It could celebrate the day they signed up to be a customer of yours. It could be an anniversary when you sold someone a home, when they signed up to be a certain offer that they purchased a big product, the anniversary of them bringing home, a washer dryer, one of those large purchases that also keeps people informed about their warranty. You can send out information about that as well. It may expire, trying to get that extended warranty. Then, of course, the birthday email, as we said, is automatically set up. So the welcome email often has an offer, and then the second email after the welcome email is generally connect with us on social media, and often there's a third email in the welcome email series that then says it's a second offer people will give, or an invitation to come in, or an invitation to explore the service with an in-depth consultation if they didn't take advantage of the first one. So the different types of emails, and as you can see, there are quite a few. And again, this does go into some details, so we'll get this to you if you're interested. A simple formula to any email is what's next. So how long should my email be? A great question, asked many, many times. 20 lines of text or 200 words results in the highest click rate. And for many people, that is quite an adjustment. So when it comes to writing an email, it should be as long as it needs to be in order to get someone to take the action you want them to take. So Constant Contact sends out a lot of emails. So all these numbers that I'm giving you are basically backed up by them with all the research they do on what really works. So take these two emails, for example. In this particular example, the promotion on the left has less text than the one on the right where they're sharing educational information along with the video. You want to provide just enough information to keep them interested and get them to take action that's going to be unique to each email campaign. So another example would be if your call to action is bigger and if you want someone to RSVP to your event. For some events, your reader is probably going to need more information to make a decision. In that case, you'll make it a little bit longer. But 20 lines of text, 200 words, highest click rate. See how simple those two emails come across. And as a marketing person or as an owner of a business, sometimes it's difficult to take this advice because normally you have things are a lot larger. But this is the gold standard of what Constant Contact suggests. Picture, paragraph, call to action. It's really that simple. Picture, paragraph, call to action. And you can see picture, paragraph, call to action on that email. Picture of flowers, flowers for any occasion, spring sale, call to action, shop now, enjoy 30% off. So let's get specific. Let's provide that structure that's going to encourage people to take action. We're going to break it down into 3 questions you're going to want to answer for the type of business or organization you have. The first question, what are you offering? From a design perspective, that's your headline. And its goal is to stop the reader, pique their interest, and make them want to read more. What are you offering? Next, how will it help the reader? You want to answer the question, how will it help the reader? You're going to provide details that entice people to take action. Typically, you need 3 to 5 sentences, but make sure you provide just enough information to give your reader the information they need. So how will it help them? And then, of course, the call to action. You're going to answer what should they do next. Tell them specifically what it is you want them to do. And make sure that call to action is easy to find and click on with your email. You might ask them to make a purchase, schedule a consultation, or even get more information. So this is a simple formula that's going to help you write your emails text. And these 3 questions will work for any for-profit business. We will get to the nonprofits in a minute. Here we are. Nonprofits. What are you trying to accomplish? That's your headline. Next, why should the reader care? Okay. And then final section, the call to action. How can the reader get involved? Invite them to take part in solving the problem, helping your cause. Feed a hungry child, give clean water. All effective calls to action. If you look at that email, what are you trying to accomplish? Why should the reader care? How can that reader get involved? Now, that formula, of course, writing your emails is fairly easy when you know what you're going to write about. But if you're still stuck, I'm going to let you know you don't have to write it at all. You can find articles and information that relate to your audience or your industry. You can curate content for your email and even on social media. Basically, you're going to look for content that can be helpful to your readers and share with your audience. So the first step to curating content is you're going to find the content, of course. Feedly.com is a great source to use. And when you start to put your content in that email, you want to add some of your perspective. You're going to ask a question to help engage potential readers to get them thinking, summarize the content, explain the main idea, or share a key takeaway. Or you can even highlight a quote from the article and share why you think it's a good read for your audience. That offer perspective is not only valid for email, this is a best practice for your social media. And you see a lot of people do it. They take an article and they ask the question to help engage potential readers. They'll say, well, what do you think? Or you could summarize the content, explain the main idea, share a key takeaway, or you highlight the quote from the article and share why you think it's a good read. So this is information not only for your email program, but for your social media program. So that third step is quite important. Of course, you want to give credit. Mention the source, where it came from, and provide that link to the original post and the author's name. So in Constant Contact and others, you can use that read more action block to insert the information and give credit for that curated content. So now we've covered the basis for writing emails and curating content. And now let's talk about another big question people have, and that is the subject line. Before people can read that email, they're going to need to open it. The subject line is one of the first things your subscribers will see in the inbox. So you have to be able to entice them to open up your email. Again, very specific information on how to handle these subject lines. The truth is that your subscribers are forming impressions of your emails just as quickly as at 100 milliseconds. You don't have much time to capture a reader's attention, so you have to make it count. As much as I'd like to be able to give you a winning subject line structure that will work, I can't, but it's going to vary based on the audience you're targeting as well as your business and the industry you're in. But I will give some tips and suggestions on what to consider. I also have a presentation from Constant Contact that is only about subject lines. Another one about the power of inbox, which contains a lot of information about subject lines. But this presentation kind of brings it all together. First and foremost, our recommendation is 4 to 7 words for your subject line. Now, when you craft your subject line, a lot of people will read their email first and write the subject line last. That is something I normally do because you'll make sure that you're writing a subject line that is not misleading people, because you want to make sure that subject line is reflective of what's inside of that email. So your email is going to really focus on the benefit of why the reader should care, or your email can help the reader. Remember, those are the questions that help you write the email's copy. So consider that content. Look at those keywords or phrases, focus on that benefit, and why are they going to care, and how is it going to help them? Some subject line ideas. Make people laugh. Use numbers. Be inquisitive. Pull at their heartstrings. Create a sense of urgency, that fear of missing out. One thing you'll see a lot of today, the fear of missing out. And the other one that I recommend highly, those numbers. People like lists. They love listicles. Top 5 ways, 3 ways to do this. Usually odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 work best. But people love the numbers. People also love the fear of missing out. Reserve your spot today. Last chance. Register by Friday. The heartstrings, obviously great for a nonprofit. $10 can help us save more animals. Take 5 minutes. Of course, being inquisitive. Reserve your spot today. Oops. It's the urgency. My apologies. Are your investments working for you? 3 questions to ask to maximize. You've probably seen all these techniques used, but again, the one thing that we see a lot of today, the fear of missing out, and numbers have worked throughout history of email and really throughout history of writing blogs. Listicles are great for blogs, they're great for articles, they're great for ads, they're great for email, and really all of those subject lines are other ways to structure your content program. So a lot of this information that we're giving can not only be used for email, but can be used in your content development plans. Taking those subject lines, using those as headlines, using those as tools for your search engine optimization, it can all come together. So now we're going to talk about pre-header text. Pre-header text is what shows up directly below or after the subject line in the inbox. The pre-header text is almost like a second subject line that you can use to catch your audience's attention. Always, always use it. It's generally available in every email platform. I have never seen one from Campaigner to HubSpot to Active to everybody in between. And a lot of people don't use it because they don't know what it is. This is your second chance to get someone's attention. And it can work with your subject line. Now, sometimes the pre-header text doesn't always show up on your email program that you're receiving email on. However, most of the time it's going to show up. So take advantage. So you want to make it short and sweet. Your 2-year-old normal or gifted, that's from my preschooler this week. And then the pre-header text, your child is 2 years old. This is where we're getting more information. Okay? Highly, highly recommend it. So now we've gone over the different types, a simple formula, and now we want to get in just some more tips or just start giving you information, sort of a news you can use format. The more personal you can get, the better. That's always going to be the case. You want to send targeted, relevant info. Forget about e-blast mentality. You don't have to send everything to everyone. If you can get away from that, I suggest you do. Have that personal conversation. Use you and your when you can in your dialogue. And perhaps one of the most important things I always tell people, this is coming from your company. This is coming from you as an individual, your brand, your firm, whatever you call your company. Show your personality. Let it be authentic to who you are. Don't try and be someone else. If you're a casual company, focus on casual language. If you're more formal and your industry is more formal, then showcase that personality to the reader. And again, this is all good information regarding content, blog creation, social media, more good advice. Another way to think about your content are all the questions you receive in your business. All the questions that your cashier receives, your front desk person, your admin, anybody who's working the floor, all of those frequently asked questions can become content within your email. And you should also have them in your frequently asked questions. They can also become a blog. They can also become a social media post. Again, this is the presentation that sort of gives you not only email, but content development and content program. You're probably getting questions every day. Start to keep track of them if you can. Another big email suggestion or program or way to use email are what's called power words. Power words trigger a response. These types of words can also be used to keep people reading in the body of the email. Typically fall into a few different categories. Here on the screen, we've got 4 different categories, and there's a lot of other words and a lot of other categories. You just have to Google power words, and you'll find a lot of information about these. Not to be confused with spam words. You don't want to come out and say things like 100% guaranteed, all this other type of stuff that you see that is generally flagged as spam. These are power words to trigger a response in someone and to get them excited about opening your email or when they're reading your email. The next important part of subject lines, everybody talks about it, the A/B testing. Everybody likes to say A/B testing. I'm going to A/B test everything. I'm going to A/B test my headline, A/B test my blog, A/B test the social media. Now you can do the A/B testing. It's usually in a structure like this, and this is constant contacts interface. Now, others have this as well. Basically, what you're doing is you're saying, I have 2 subject lines. I'm going to send it subject line A to 25% of my audience. Subject line B gets 25% of my audience. So now you've spent 50% of your audience. Okay. So what happens is Constant Contact then, or your email platform, will A/B test those subject lines, declare a winner, and then the rest of your audience in your email campaign will receive the winning subject line. And you can determine if that's after 24 hours, a day, 2 days, 3 days. And this is sort of an easy automated way to do subject line testing. You can, of course, do it manually, divide your audience up. But in most of the platforms, you can do this whole subject line testing with 25% of your audience and the other 25%, and then declare a winner and send it out. So as a recap, we want to include a variety of email types and content in your strategy. Answer those 3 questions to write the text for your email and get personal. Send targeted, relevant information. I'd be remiss if I didn't have a short blurb about Constant Contact in this presentation. Of course, there's email, there are websites, social ads management. You can buy Facebook ads and other social media ads from Constant Contact now. There are logos and there's e-commerce. So really, Constant Contact has moved past an email platform into a full marketing suite. And again, I am Vito Curcuru, founder Consult Vito. There's my contact info. No issue sending anyone a copy of the presentation. I also, generally speaking, offer, it's about an hour or so, can be a consultation, a discovery call. That is free. I do that on behalf of the chamber to all of our members. I also do it for people who attend the webinar. Maybe you have a question about your email program or your social media, or you're just looking for a new resource. Do I have any recommendations on software? It takes about an hour or so. Usually I do a little prep on your company, kind of looking at some of the marketing things you may have been doing to give some advice. There's no obligation to buy. There's no obligation to become a client. I just really do that because marketing is very, very hard these days. It is nothing to take for granted because it's always changing. So I enjoy giving out the advice, or if I can help someone, and that is just you can call me or email me. We can get you that information. Now we are at the point we can take questions. We can take questions about email. We can take questions about social media or any other marketing activity. Feel free to ask whatever it is. Maybe you're having trouble with something. Take questions on all topics, and hopefully I'll have an answer. We do have a question about social media and growing things organically. What are the best tactics to use? Well, unfortunately, a few years ago, Facebook, LinkedIn, and others rebuilt their algorithms, and the algorithms are those fancy numbers and back that determine what posts are seen and how you can grow your page. And they pretty much took the system and turned it on its head so that you have to spend money to kind of gain followers and all that. So it's really tough to grow organically or to create a viral post these days. My recommendation is to consider a budget. It can be small. Unfortunately, LinkedIn is about $10 a day. But Google AdWords can have a handful of dollars a day, a couple dollars a day. Facebook, you've probably seen you can boost this post for $200 and reach 1,000 people. I would suggest considering a budget to help grow organically. The other tips are the usual suspects. Try and post a few times a week, maybe 1 to 2, maybe 3 times a week. Try and ask some of those questions or use some of these tips that we've had today in your social media program. Curating content, asking questions, giving listicles, promoting your blog, focusing on an employee, giving the why people should donate. All of that information that we covered can all be great social media posts. I would consider looking at it's a freemium product that's it's free, and you can pay for some of it on Canva.com, Pixely, some of these other places have free pictures. Trying to find some of those freemium resources, or trying to find some of those places that can offer content content suggestions and ideas like Feedly, or going to Google News, signing up for some news alerts, or just backlinking the old-fashioned way to some sources that you really trust. That will help your social media. That'll help you grow a little bit organically. And of course, taking advantage of some of the tools Facebook has and LinkedIn both have, where you can invite your connections to follow you, and of course using your social media tools. And sometimes people like to put on the bottom of their page, of course, their website, follow us, but you may want to put a strong call to action in a blog post as to why someone should follow you in your Facebook, or why someone should follow you on your LinkedIn. That's a little bit of a few ways to grow your social media. Let's see, looks like we have a question. Let's see, let me read this. Question about email, about open rates. Yeah, that's a great question. So you may or may not have heard, Apple has months ago started to not give out the numbers of people who have opened the email. So when the issue of privacy has come up, Apple emails and emails under the Apple brand are no longer reporting, or reporting sporadically, or not reporting accurately when people open an email. And they've done that for privacy reasons. So your email opens may be suffering right now. And the reason is because you may have an influx of Apple type email addresses, and they're no longer really reporting. So we're starting to see a little bit of that. So that's why you want to take a look at your engagement and your clicks and other metrics, people signing up for offers, or how many people you're getting to come to your event. Those are some of the activities that maybe are better metrics now, because open rates have definitely suffered. There are resources to talk about that, and Constant Contact has, if you Google Constant Contact open rates, there's a few good articles that they have on the website that talk about what has happened, the changes, and what your expectations can be regarding open rates. Because it is a different world than it was, and that is probably going to be the case for a couple others as we start to see that kind of wind down. Next question. Looks like a question follow up from previous regarding some free products for marketing. If you don't have it, sign up for Google Analytics, Google My Business, all the Google products. Full disclosure, the Chamber is a Grow with Google partner, but most, if not all, the Google products are free and available. So highly suggest getting involved there. If you can, Canva, of course, I mentioned, another free product piece of software. There are free trials and limited availability in terms of what it can do, but HubSpot provides a free version of its CRM tool. You can kind of poke around a little bit. Constant Contact has a 2-week free trial. I can set anyone up with that. But I suggest every time I go through a software purchase, I will go through everyone's free 2-week trial. I always suggest using those 2-week trial periods or 1 week or whatever the offer is, because that's going to be the way to see if that piece of software is going to work for you. So as an example, I have a scheduler I use for social media, but I did go through about 25 different social media scheduling tools and took advantage of all the free offers. And I finally found one that I think works best for me, and that's not to disparage anybody else's because they're all great products, but some of them just were maybe too complicated for me, or the price point wasn't right, or the value wasn't there. I couldn't get customer service and all of that. So I would suggest taking advantage of those software trials. And it looks like we have one more question. I will apologize for going over a bit, but I do want to get everyone's question. If you have any other questions, you can email me, of course, or just pick up the phone and give me a call. We do have a question about websites, and the question about, someone looks like they want to start a new website. They want to, what are some suggestions and steps? So we do have a presentation. I have 2 presentations from Google that I can, if you email me, I can send to you about building a good website. But in the very, very beginning of all this, get your domain name from GoDaddy or someone, and you can have them host your website. And then there's 2 different kinds of website content management system platforms. There's WordPress, and that can be a little more complicated. It can be less expensive. The danger, you can spend a lot of money on plugins or themes, such as Divi or Beaver or Bakery, what have you. But there's a lot more flexibility because there's tens of thousands of different ways to lay the websites out on WordPress. Those are the pros. The cons are it can be difficult to update pages. Sometimes the plugins are hard to use or not easily understood. And sometimes you do have to be a programmer to use it. And it can be kind of complicated and take some time to understand how everything works in a WordPress site. The pros of a GoDaddy, Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, GoDaddy, Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, and those are the pros are they're easy to use, they're drag and drop. You can just start typing, you'll build the website really quickly. The cons, there's not as many templates, and there's some limitations as to what you can do on your site. Usually there's an image, there's a paragraph, there are some forms you can put on, but it's not always, the website isn't going to do everything as a WordPress site can. However, those Wix, Weebly, GoDaddy, Squarespace, they help with search engine optimization. They help with load times. They help with a lot of things that are back-end type situations that you don't have to pay an individual to do that make your site go faster and perform better. But you're paying, sometimes $35 a month for that service. But you know what? For the couple $100 a year, it's a lot cheaper than having an HTML or WordPress professional who could be $100 an hour or $120 an hour. So for a small business or someone starting out, I always recommend, hey, think about the GoDaddy, the Wix, the Weebly, the Squarespace. It may not do everything you want, but it's a good price point, and it's a good easy way to build the site. You have a lot of control over it, and GoDaddy has excellent customer service. So those are all pluses. But of course, if you're looking for a high-end built-out site for WordPress, that could cost anywhere between $600 to $6,000 or more. So I always encourage people to start small on those platforms and then to build up if you want later. So appreciate everyone joining us. I hope to see you in a couple weeks for Design Thinking for Entrepreneurs. It is on